folks. It's Nora here from the Mono Lake Committee, and I'm here today to just offer you some peaceful scenery of the lake with this cottonwood tree in front with sagebrush and bitterbrush and rabbit brush, Mormon tea. There's lots of shrubs around that are just starting to get some color into them after this dormant winter. And I'm going to spend my time over the next 15 or so minutes sketching the landscape in my nature journal. I have my little nature journal kit here, and feel free to join me in sketching. If you don't have a notepad nearby, grab a napkin, ballpoint pen. Sometimes just the act of drawing something or focusing on something for a short period of time can be really relaxing, and what a better scene than here in this quiet part of Mono Lake. I hear some sage thrashers and sagebrush sparrows singing in the background. Maybe they'll get closer and sing for us as we sit here in silence. But I want to thank you all again for coming, for joining me today, for staying home and staying safe as this continues, and for supporting what we do at the Mono Lake Committee so we can bring this content to you. And I'll offer some resources at the end of our time today about nature journaling and how you can start this journal. A lot of people are intimidated by nature journaling. I know that I was and sometimes still am. But if you really think about it as something that is just for you, it's not a place of judgment where you're saying, oh, I'm such a terrible artist. It's less about art and more about noticing and wondering, being curious, and just seeing. And putting it down. Maybe you could, write a few words to go along with any drawings, or if you're more of a wordsmith than a colorist, then perhaps just writing anything you feel coming out when you're looking at a scene like this, I think can be very relaxing. So I'll show you some books that I use at the end, and give you some resources for diving deeper into nature journaling as a form of learning, as a form of meditation, of relaxing, and letting some peace fall over you. So I hope you enjoy the scene, and I'll maybe share what I end up with in here at the end, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. hope you've had a lovely time enjoying the view, maybe hearing some birds and sketching if that's what you chose to do. If you want to share your sketches or your writings, please feel free to do so in the comments. In that time, I drew the tree, and I'll share this with you. Let's see if I can make sure you can see it without... Yeah, that's a little better. Quiet, gray, patient for spring to bring leaves. And I felt very peaceful during that time, and I hope that you did too. And if you're new to nature journaling or just want more ideas, definitely visit johnmuirlaws.com. Should be in the comments. He'll be doing free nature journaling lessons via Zoom on Tuesdays and Thursdays at noon, from noon to 1. And it's a great resource for kids, but also for anyone who wants to learn how to improve their skills. And I'll show you just a few of the resources that I use. There's the Laws Guide to Nature Journaling, or Nature Drawing and Journaling, and it has lots of ideas for just how to improve both your drawings and your observation skills. Just how to pay close attention to the little details, ignore the rest, focus on one little thing, and really ask yourself questions about what you're seeing to help you learn from it. There's also Claire Walker Leslie and Charles E. Roth's Keeping a Nature Journal, discovering a whole new way of seeing the world around you. I've really enjoyed this one. She writes about how to document the weather and not get caught up with everything being perfect. And so there are some really interesting, just little sketching out scenes and paying attention to the little details. And then I also have been using this. It's called the Naturalist's Notebook, and it helps. Let me put these other ones down. It has some tips of how to observe nature, how to perhaps create your own little field guide, pay attention to the seasons as they change. But the thing that I love about this is that it has a 5-year calendar. So I've been writing down things that I see as the spring progresses. So on January 27th, I heard a hairy woodpecker drumming at County Park, which to me means that the woodpeckers are getting ready for attracting mates and defending territories. They nest a little bit earlier than other birds because they can nest in cavities. But just the last couple weeks have been really exciting. Let's see, that's March, the first red-winged blackbirds, March 1st. We're singing in our yard. We got 9+ inches of snow. It's just a fun way to keep track. So the first line is your first year, and then the subsequent years you can kind of compare your data from the last few years of observation to see if birds are returning at the same time or flowers are blooming. So just in the very end of March, we saw our first mountain bluebirds and Say's phoebe. Violet green swallows started to come back. And our daffodils bloomed in our yard, so it'll be exciting to see what we start to notice in the following years, and if it's similar to this year. So thank you so much for joining me today on this little nature journal adventure, and we will definitely do more in the future. There may be some journaling exercises once we get some flowers coming out, and I hope you all have a lovely day.